generic deployment layer based on net booting. I'm done so far. I'm sorry, I was running a bit too fast. I thought it lasts longer. Yeah, you have a question over there? Okay. The question was how we're talking to the servers or the partitions in case we want to manage them, like reboot, shutdown, or so on. In openQRM, when we deploy a server to a physical system, it automatically runs a small daemon, which is a remote execution daemon. It is doing an IP authentication. It means it allows the openQRM server to run administrative commands on the deployed system. For virtual machines especially, we map the administrative commands, like reboot, shutdown, to the virtualization host. That means if I'm running reboot on a Xen virtual machine, it goes to the host and runs XM reboot. Yeah. Oh. Sorry, again, please. Yeah. No, not really. No, not really. It's a really deployment system, which does not control your virtualization hosts on the host itself, but from a remote. Yeah. Yeah. Over there. Mm-hmm. We implemented this in the base server, but you can, of course, change this behavior by additional plugin, which interacts with the resource allocation in openQRM. In general, openQRM monitors the resources it is managing, and for clusters especially, you can configure a virtual environment as a cluster, and then you can set the maximum number of nodes, the minimum number of nodes, and if it should scale automatically. It means openQRM measures the loads on the whole cluster, and if it's loaded very high, it will add nodes up to the maximum number of nodes. And if the load goes down again, it will remove these nodes again, and you can use them for different purposes. Does this answer your question? Okay. So we also support, just a few more words about the clustering option in openQRM. We support shared file system images. That means you can deploy a cluster with 2 or more nodes, which are using the same root file system. This is good for example, you then have a single point of updates and patches, for example, and you don't lose so much disk space on your storage for having one file system per node in your cluster. Especially when it comes to very big clusters, this is a great advantage. Any other question? Yeah, over there. We currently work with NetApp. We support an own storage type based on LVM2, which is using standard Linux NFS and the enterprise iSCSI target, which is also open source. In general, openQRM can work with more or less any storage vendor providing an NFS or an iSCSI interface. No problem. Some more questions? Mm-hmm. Yes. openQRM, the question was if we provide also utilities to create images or capture existing servers and transfer them to server images. Yes, openQRM provides utilities to either manually capture, like with a script, capture an existing server, transfer it to your storage server, then it can be used as a server template or it can be deployed directly. There's also an automatic image capturing feature in openQRM, so you just can net boot your existing server. It will appear in openQRM as available resource, and you can tell openQRM to capture the contents of this system's hard disk and create an image from it. No problem. Yes, right. So this is exactly this, we want to go into the same direction as we are currently moving with the virtualization, this appliance-based deployment. The possibility to have something known to work and either use this to deploy directly or clone on the fly, clone on deploy time. Yeah, depends. If it's, for example, if it's NFS root deployment, the image is a directory which cannot really be compressed. If it's iSCSI, the image is a block device, which the compression takes place while transferring the iSCSI traffic, but there's not so many compression in it, I think. Yes, we are doing this with the local deploy method. It means if you go with local deploy, you capture the whole disk dump, and this is being transferred in a compressed way to your storage server. And when you redeploy this image to either the same or another system, it's going to be unpacked on deployment. Yeah, there's compression is used for local deploy. You can do it like you described in the second way, like deploy it, change it, recapture it. This is of course possible. We also have tools like the Puppet plugin, which can leverage your server image on deployment time. Means in the moment you deploy it, it may be a clone which is being deployed. And on the side of the resources where the server image is being provisioned, Puppet will be started automatically as a plugin service, and it will take care to leverage the configuration image to your needs. And of course, if you have bigger changes, depending on the deployment method, it makes sense to deploy and recapture. With NFS root, you can simply chroot into the directory, make your changes there on the storage server itself.